third Colossus while I only have missile attack level 2 on the way, whereas he has 2 upgrades, correct? No, he has 1 2. Okay, and he's getting some on the way. Oh, but you can see, I see he has an observer, and so just as he starts to move out, my roaches move in. So what do? I instantly start targeting the Colossus, which is a Zerg player you really need to do because those guys are going to start tearing you apart. Now I start moving in, he is an immortal, and at this point I'm just like, okay, crap, well, there's nothing I can do with this army if he is an observer. So I honestly just leave this army for dead, try to do as much army as I possibly can. Which is okay, since I took out some of his units, but in the end it wasn't really that smart. And you can see his Colossus there was just roasting me away, doing 38 damage each, because it says 19, but there's 2 lasers on the Colossus, so it does 38. At least I think that's right. Again, he secured the watchtowers, which, as a Zerg player, you should never let your opponent get the watchtowers like I do. And you can see here, my Mutalisks are moving in. I actually did a decent amount of damage with them. We're gonna go Units Lost tab. Actually, we'll go Income. You can see, either I've been droning up a lot, or I've been doing a whole lot of damage to him. Because, you can see, now his cannon is just barely out of range. I found a sweet spot. Again, I'll leave my Mutalisks for dead, which I've been realizing I do a lot in games, and I really need to stop it. But, yeah, as a Zerg player, I recommend that you harass your opponent at all times. Whether you use Infestors, which I love Infestors, especially with Burrow, and, Pathogen Glands, which, by the way, don't be like me and get Infestors without Pathogen Glands. When you get the glands, it instantly makes it so that, your Infestors can spawn with fungal growth. Now, these guys have been sitting here for a while, so they can use fungal growth anyway. But yeah, always try to get the, Pathogen Glands, which now I have on the way. So I've seen that he is Colossus, I know that he is an Observer, and I've seen that he is Immortals. And Immortals, if you're, Protoss player, and you've either scouted your opponent, or you just know he's going Roaches, get Immortals. Get 2, 3, maybe 4 Immortals. Because look at this, they do 60 damage against armored units, which Roaches only have 145 health. So, 2 shots, and they're basically dead. But with all the other fighting going on, it's perfect. So now I know he has Colossus, and I'm like, okay, well, Corruptors, they're pretty darn good. I don't know why I originally got Corruptors. Maybe I thought he was going Void Rays or something. Maybe I just thought, okay, well, maybe he's going to get Colossus. Whichever. And so, yeah. Corruptors they can target, since they're an anti-air unit, some people might be thinking, well, how on earth can they target Colossus? Colossus are so big that missile turrets and things that attack air can attack them. So, hence Corruptors. And Corruptors are extremely effective against Colossus. If you're Terran, use Vikings. And if you're Protoss, I'm trying to think, can Protoss use Phoenixes against them? I'd say yes, I think they can. But, actually, if you're going against Colossus as a Protoss player, I honestly just say, get more Colossus. Get more Colossus than your opponent. That's honestly my advice. Now you can see my opponent here is moving out. He scouted me. He's actually been basically 1 base ahead of me this entire game, which I know it's been 3-3 for a long time, but it's basically been okay. Yeah, okay. But it's basically been, since he's been so far ahead of me, since he's had 2 or 3 bases, well, I've had 2 or 3. Sorry about that. Basically means that he's ahead of me. Because as a Zerg player, you need the extra bases. It's just the way they are. Don't argue with it. Don't ask me why. It's just the way it is. So you can see here. Let's speed it up a little. Okay. So I have more Corruptors on the way. I have attack level 2 on the way, which is huge. Attack level 1 for the Zerg flying units is big, but attack level 2 is even better, especially when you're going up against Colossus. So you can see here, he destroyed all my Overlords, which I actually noticed, and this is probably the turning point in this entire game right here. Really, he has no hotkeys? I know as Protoss you can get away with doing 2 or 3 hotkeys minimum, or like 1 hotkey. I don't recommend it, however. I recommend that, yeah, you maybe have your Stalkers, since he has Blink Stalkers and maybe like the second control group. Your main army in 1, and I like setting my Nexus or my main building to 4. But I'm not getting into that. So he destroyed my Overlord, and I'm like, okay, crap. Well, he's probably seen my 3rd expansion. He's gonna come kill it. So I have to move out now. Not waiting for reinforcements. I need to go now. So I head out. There we go. I'm starting to head out. My Roaches are fast on creep. They're coming. They're coming. He's almost to my 3rd expansion. He's gonna come around back, and here we go. I start to engage. He doesn't notice, so I get a few free shots off of one soccer there. Now here you can see I move my Corruptors in, and I have them on a separate hotkey, so I'm having them attack the Colossus. Now, there goes one Colossus down, and now, here come the Infestors. This was huge in this game, using the fungal growth, which I lost many of my Infestors, but the fungal growth here on these Stalkers was so huge, I think that I actually would have lost the battle if I hadn't used that fungal growth. So you can see this attack has been repelled. My Corruptors are more or less in shape to continue fighting. Less being the important part there. I now have 20 roaches on the way because I have ridiculously horrible macro. And I have 4,000 resources saved up. And then you can see I decide, okay, well, he probably doesn't have an army. Or at least much of one. So I'm going to move out. I'm just going to move out, attack him. I send my Corruptors over because I don't know if he has any more Colossus. They just end up getting completely destroyed. Which was stupid, I should have moved them. And you can see I'm getting 3-3 on the way, and now he's getting 8 warp gates, or 8 gateways right now. Which I don't know about. I have no idea that he has that many warp gates on the way. Or targets, or gateways, gosh, on the way. So, I'm moving out, and good for me, I'm attacking him at a key moment that I don't even know about. But this is important. I never even knew he had a third base. Did I? Yeah, I never knew he had a third base, so I thought it was cool. I can remember myself thinking, well, now I'm 2 bases ahead of this guy. I'm such a moron. Did I even know he had a third? I never even knew he had a third. So at this point, his line is collapsing. I probably have no larvae. I do have a few, but they're about to pop off, so they're probably about to be a lot more roaches. And so now his entire front line is falling apart, except for those gates, which are about to become warp gates, which, yeah, that's going to be trouble. Like 8 or 20 more zealots? Here we go. I'm like, where are all these guys coming from? Well, you must have a lot of warp gates. So I decided, okay, let's take some of the warp gates down. And again, I never knew this observer was here. Just never knew it. You can see him getting more Corruptors just in case he's building Colossus, which he is building a Colossus, so always good. Let's go to the units last time. Yeah, now he's definitely starting to fall behind. My roaches are getting in a good conclave. I have enough numbers where I can just easily outnumber Stalkers, but he does have a lot of Stalkers, and they're starting to do some damage. But again, once that 3-3 comes through, it's going to be huge over his 2-2 upgrades. You just have just that. Yeah, okay, with his 2 shields as well, which is pretty big for Protoss, but you don't normally see them get shields. But I recommend it. If you have the money and the gas, just get the shield upgrade. 11 zealots on the way now, which could easily start to attack and do a lot of damage to my roaches, but not kill all of them. Now you can see he's not even producing anything. I have more roaches and even more Corruptors on the way because I didn't really know about the Colossus, but now I'm glad about it because my Corruptors are just going to destroy his Colossus. Another good thing about Corruptors or Vikings or Phoenixes about taking down Colossus is they can't be attacked by the Colossus. You can see here we're talking a little bit over how good roaches are, and I actually start to let my micro slip. And you can see here I let these guys bunch up, and I'm like, holy, and after a while I'm like, oh crap, what if I can't let this go? I'm so far ahead. So you can see I start getting 16 more roaches. I'm taking another base just to be a jerk. Did I ever find out about his base? Since I was over there? Nope. Never even found out. Did I say a 4th base? I did say that, didn't I? Anyway. So yeah, now he's actually starting to get a good amount of units here, but again, I don't think he can do anything, especially since my 3-3 upgrades are now done. I'm not doing a lot of damage and taking very little. Even with my Corruptors here, his Colossus are just going to be nothing. I even start getting an Ultralisk Cavern just in case he had something else, and this whole entire, my whole entire assault just fell apart and I needed some more frontline units. You can see here as well, something else stupid I did was, I left those roach reinforcements right there. Now, you see here, I don't GG back when I had a lot of time for it, but it was because I was actually going to type in, well, I had 3-3 upgrades, that's probably why. But I didn't have enough time, and I actually started at backspace and hit GG when I saw him GG, but I just didn't have enough time. So it was a good game. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And again, I want to emphasize scouting. Always make sure you have the watchtowers, and make sure your opponent doesn't have the watchtowers. And scout the other bases that your opponent has or may not have. And if you're Zerg, make sure that you're always 1 or 2 bases ahead of your opponent. And if you're Protoss, make sure that you're scouting. Make sure you get your gas early, and make sure that you get that critical massive Colossus. And also, if you're any player, don't let your reinforcements just sit there. Alright, well, I'm actually going to go and record some campaign after this, so I will see you guys when I do the campaign. Later.